Let's bring in Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He is demanding Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas resign or be fired over the crisis that we're seeing on our southern border. Senator, good to have you with us. So when you hear that there's 15,000 more, thanks for being here. I've heard 19,000 more in some estimates headed this way. Do you expect they too will get in?
Well, right now under Joe Biden, we simply have open borders. It is an absolute catastrophe. I've been to our southern border many, many times. It's worse than I've ever seen it. We are right now on a path to over 2 million illegal immigrants crossing into this country this year under Joe Biden. It's the worst illegal immigration we've had in 21 years. You know, just a little bit less than 2 weeks ago, I was down in Del Rio. I saw firsthand the crisis that was there, where because the Biden administration refused to deport the illegal immigrants from Haiti, we saw what had been about 700 people under the bridge in Del Rio grow when I was there to 10,503, and within a couple of days after that to 15,000. Yeah. And I got to tell you, yesterday, Martha, I sat down with the foreign minister of Panama, and she described how Panama has seen over 80,000 Haitian immigrants, Haitian evacuees crossing from South America through Panama, headed to the United States. And this is all happening because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris refuse to enforce the law and have essentially said anyone who wants to come to America, they're going to resettle them, they're going to give them benefits, they're going to let them stay, and it's resulting in a public health crisis and a humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough to read it any other way when you look at the movement, because a lot of them have been living there for 2 or 3 years. But suddenly they decided that now is the moment. And it's also interesting that you bring up the 2 million number, because during one of the presidential debates back in August of 2019, President Biden said we could afford to take in a heartbeat another 2 million people per year. So it seems like it's clear that this has been part of the goal, actually, and it looks like they're going to reach that goal. But one of the things that I think is very interesting is the political impact in Texas. And I want to pull up a poll. This is a new Quinnipiac poll that shows Texas voters give President Biden a negative 61% rating, and that's down 24 points since June of 2021. Tell me about that in your home state.
Yeah, look, Texans are seeing it firsthand. We're seeing the devastation that is coming from this catastrophe of a policy. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was down in South Texas. I was in Uvalde. I was in Laredo. I was in McAllen. I was in Edinburgh. I was in Roma. And I did roundtables with farmers and ranchers down there. And I got to tell you, there were a number of ranchers women who described how they would not allow their teenage kids to go out on their own property without carrying a loaded firearm, because there were so many human traffickers and drug traffickers crossing their property on a daily basis. I did roundtables with sheriffs and law enforcement and local elected Democrats. Most of the elected officials in South Texas are Democrats. That's been true for 100 years. Almost to a person, the elected Democrats said to me, they said, listen, if my party, the Democratic Party, is the party of open borders, I can't support that. It is a disaster, and it is overwhelming the communities on the border. Del Rio, the population of Del Rio is about 35,000 people. Yeah. There were 15,000, half of that population crossing illegally. And what does Joe Biden do? He shamefully demagogues the Border Patrol. When he said, you will be punished, that was disgraceful. I know many of the brave men and women of the Border Patrol. I'll tell you, I stand with the Border Patrol, and Biden demagoguing and attacking them over a media lie. The media claimed that the reins on the horse were actually a whip. It was a flat-out lie. The New York Times has corrected it, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris keep repeating that lie and demonizing the heroes of Border Patrol. Yeah,
and, you know, they're also making sure that the Border Patrol gets vaccinated, but not the people who are crossing the border, which I just think, you know, anyone with common sense just says, well, that really doesn't make any sense, does it? Senator, thank you so much. We know you got to run. We're glad to have you with us this afternoon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.